How is Christopher Walken post-divorce different than regular Christopher Walken?
Where do Fallout Boys become Fallout
Right,
Men?
yeah, you're right.
At the Fallout Press.
Well, it was Grandpa Beer first.
So everybody's invited, and it's going to be free cake and free ice cream.
Okay, I feel surrounded. This is like the beginning of a X-rated movie, maybe? I don't know.
You kids at home, be safe. Would you put down that video game and actually go live your lives?
Hey everybody, welcome to Hair of the Dogcast, Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019. And we are here with a very special guest, the Immortal, the one and only, John Hancock.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for coming on the Dogcast, man.
Yeah.
So, am I to understand that this is your first time at Portland?
Actually, I've been to every one of these. I was one of the original organizers.
Yeah.
And I was an original organizer with many others for the first 6 years. And the show exploded in size, and I stepped down because I was doing 2 jobs at the time. And actually worked with a couple other board members that stepped down and focused on Cowlitz Gamers for Kids and did that for 10 years.
Sure.
So that just concluded. Our final show was this last spring.
Excellent. So when you started this thing, how many people were there?
Oh man, couple hundred.
Couple hundred.
And it was not even in Portland. It wasn't even called PRGE. It was a Vancouver, the Retro Gaming Expo in
Vancouver, yeah.
But
Right across
it's
the
crazy.
river.
Yeah, and so that was early on. We had probably, I don't want to say exactly, but we had probably 20 vendors, a couple hundred people. It was very swap meet atmosphere.
You got to start somewhere.
That's right.
And look what it's become. Look what you have done.
I don't take responsibility for this show's growth. I give a lot of that credit to Chuck Van Pelt and the crew and Toby and Rick and Video Game Wizards, which a lot of people don't know that they upfront the money costs of the first show, and if it wasn't for Video Game Wizards, none of this would have happened. So they gave thousands of dollars up front so that the first show could happen, and then here we are. Yeah.
And how many coordinators were there back then? Was it just you and a small team?
No, I mean it was probably a group of like 6, probably like 8 of us. Okay. I mean there was like at the very start it was like me and Rick Weiss and promoting the show, and then it grew from 2 to 6 to 8, and now it's who knows how many.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite collectors to follow online. How many complete sets of games do you have now?
31.
31 complete sets.
Yeah,
What's your newest one?
Newest one, Wii U would be the newest one, and I just finished my Atari Jaguar kart collection.
Ooh.
Yes, and so really right now my immediate goal is to promote and support PRGE, which does amazing things, and until I do something else with my collection other than keep it in boxes in my house, I'd like to have my collections on display at PRGE. There's limitations to that. The acrylic cases that my Genesis collections are in.
Those are beautiful, by the way.
It's expensive. They're starting to show their age. So, but I'd like to, in the meantime, just have some of my collection out of my garage on display.
How many games is the complete Genesis collection?
Well, it's a little bit over 700. I don't know the exact amount, but 760 are on display today.
Gotcha.
There's many variations. There's 200 cardboard box variations. I could go on and on, but there's a lot of subset stuff in a Genesis collection.
Right. What collection right now has been your white whale that you just are trying to but haven't been able to?
3DO.
3DO.
Yeah, 3DO. 3DO is some of the
Still
stuff.
Can't find a copy of Twisted? Or
I have that. It's like plumbers don't wear ties.
Oh my God!
And
you have to collect that, I guess.
Dino Park Tycoon and like some of the really expensive stuff, and it's just, really I've kind of climbed any mountain collecting that I've ever wanted to do, and so, I have future plans and dreams and hopes of opening up a museum. There's a lot of people out there that say, why isn't today? Well, the NVM took over 10 years to plan and build.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Yeah,
and they were attacked. They were attacked for like, oh, you're gonna just doing this for money or etc. It's like, no, it's people that sacrifice and have their collection on public display. Some people don't realize what it goes into that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Did you have to buy another garage or another house yet to house this whole collection of yours?
Well, no. I mean, I have an expansion. I have an expansion to my house, and that's really what I do my YouTube studio.
Yeah.
And so it has heat and computer setup, very very basic setup, and but most of my collection's in a garage, a sealed garage, and so that's where it lies in cardboard boxes, and I really hate it in there. Like I really do.
I bet. Yeah. It needs to be out in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. people need to see this stuff. Do you know when you first started collecting? Do you remember what the thing that initiated the collecting bug was?
Yeah. So this is kind of funny. So when I first started, I gave a friend of mine $50, and I said, "Find something interesting." I didn't. That's it.
Why?
Because
he was going something interesting.
So he was going to San Jose Flea Mart, which some people may not know. It's really big. It's multiple blocks.
Sure.
It's like this, but it's multiple blocks of people just focusing on different used items. And so I gave him $50. I didn't know what he was going to get. He came home with an Atari 7800 and 50 boxed Atari games, and that was it. I mean, after that, I was like, it's on.
Ninja Golf is fucking best. I love this thing.
Yeah, Ninja Golf was one of the games he picked up, but more importantly, the Atari 7800 version of Robotron 2084, and it ended up being one of my favorite games. And I never played that version, and so in the mid-90s, really, my collection started from nothing to a lot of things.
And it all started with the Atari 7800.
Yeah.
I would not have ever guessed that.
Well, I grew up with Sega, but like many people, I sold my games off in college for dating.
As you do, and then you regret it.
They're kind of expensive, that whole dating thing.
I only kept a couple things. A lot of my stuff was gone, and so when I really started what I feel retro collecting was with the 7800, Odyssey 2, original Nintendo, and that's what I could find in my area. Redding, California was kind of dry, but there was a couple places. There's a couple flea marts where I found stuff, and over many years, I collected and amassed what I have today.
Yeah, excellent.
So we've been asking all of our guests that come on here, what's some of your favorite early gaming experiences, most memorable things you hold on to?
What really sticks in your craw?
Early years were going to the arcades and then climbing on a bar stool so I could see the screens. Space Invaders, Defender, Pac-Man. I remember all those. And a vivid memory of mine is my parents, which didn't go out a lot. We were fairly conservative with money. We went to an arcade and they were drinking a little bit. And that's the best time to ask people for quarters. So, hey, can I have a quarter? Can I have a quarter?
Oh, yes.
And finally, I remember my mom giving me like $5 in quarters. You might as well have just handed me $100. And so I just remember that.
You just handed me a lifelong addiction right
I just felt like, oh my gosh, this is like the best day ever. My mom never gives me more than a couple quarters.
Right, yeah. No, that's great, man. So, Space Invaders, classic.
Those are my early memories. And then later on, playing Atari, Pong. My dad bought us a Pong unit, and it was an aftermarket. It was a Radio Shack TV scoreboard. And I remember playing with my brother, and this wasn't a happy memory, but a memory. And so a TV scoreboard is a Pong unit, and it looks like a walkie-talkie with like a sidecar, little smaller controller added to it.
That's right,
And I remember beating my brother in playing Pong, and then he just got mad and turned it off.
Really?
So, but it's on but he can turn it off on his controller. It's like, oh man, that's so unfair.
I was the little brother messing with my older brother when it came to games too. I was a sore loser. And we were also asking our guests, what's your biggest achievement you've had in video games in your life? It could be collecting, it could be, did you get a high score in a game?
Cowlitz Gamers for Kids raising $100,000 for nonprofits in the Cowlitz County area. It was a pure event for a good cause, and a lot of people came together to make it happen, and it was a good run, and 10 years is a long time to do a charity event. I was organizing that while pulling 2 jobs, and it was fun. I had a good run.
Yeah. Excellent. Out of all the systems that you have, I mean, you got to have a favorite, right, that you collect. Yeah. Can you let us know which?
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis? Okay.
Yeah, so Sega Genesis really for collecting, it's just been
because you sold it when you were
I earned it with my own money. That was my first console with my own money.
Yep.
And I just really appreciated the games. I feel like Sega was really making games that really I wanted to play. They're a little edgier, a little different. They're very arcade style. And I really was more of a Sega kid than Nintendo kid. I appreciate all video games, what they provide, but I kind of was more of a Sega kid.
I mean, the Altered Beast hat kind of made me give it away. I should have known. I was a Sega kid as well. I definitely remember my Genesis. I think that was the one the system I coveted the most, being young and not having $200 to spend. And I just wanted that Neo Geo.
Neo Geo. Yeah, that was like, so the backstory was I wanted a Neo Geo, and the wish book and I saw it in the Sears wish book, and my dad looked at me and says, "Son, you see that lawnmower over there? That's how you're gonna earn it."
Yeah.
And after a summer of working hard, I had $200 and up for a Sega Genesis.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Or one Neo Geo game at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's
Do you have a Neo Geo collection?
I have about 50 AES carts. They're expensive.
Yes, they are. If
I
asked.
Metal
have-
Slug?
I have, no, I have Samurai Showdown 5 Special though.
Oh wow.
So, and that was kind of a score.
Yeah.
But I don't have a complete collection, nor will I ever have one probably. But I really love the system, and I love the 2D graphics and the games that are provided on that. Yeah, and it's super expensive to collect for. Even the MVS stuff is getting crazy.
It's
now.
insane.
Yeah.
I had the big red cabinet, bought it like maybe 10 years ago. I could buy lots of MVS games, just like $50. Here's like 10 or 12 games. Now it's like Magician Lord's like $150, and I'm like, what happened? This was like $10.
Yeah, and I think awareness, because a lot of people talk about how YouTube spiked prices. It really is just people remembering video games, and so people see YouTube, they remember a game, more people want to pursue a video game, and then there's less supply of things, and so that's a challenge moving forward. I think that's going to be a big challenge for expos moving forward, especially vendor-specific expos.
Sure.
What happens when that supply drops? When does digital video game releases starting impacting vendors?
That's true.
And I don't know the answer to that. I'm just saying that will happen eventually.
Will happen. Well, I have a few beers at night, and then I see there's a sale on digital games, and I just I'll just buy 3 or 4 right now, and then I forget I have them because I don't have this physical thing in front of me.
So true. Like Nintendo Switch. You guys all have a Switch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it's crazy because you're starting to see these awesome sales of indie stuff, and people are messaging me, "Hey, you can get this game for like 12 cents and 9 cents," and it's like, who cares if it's terrible? It's only 12 cents.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's
Just get it. Come on.
It's like a beer here at PRGE is like what, $7 to $9. It's like
9 for what we were drinking.
Yeah.
So
You buy
12
that
cents is
game
nothing.
like 40 times.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of beer, we are also a podcast about beer. Do you drink the beer, John?
Yes.
All right. Do you?
Some of your favorite breweries.
Yeah.
So beer in general.
Just
Yeah.
favorite breweries, favorite beers of the moment or of all
Okay.
time. whatever.
Black Butte Porter is kind of my go-to.
Black Butte?
The shoots.
Yep.
So yeah, Deschutes, and so that's kind of my go-to. Irish Death, and that is from Williamsburg. It's in a Washington area.
Okay.
And you can get it. It's in a can. It's sold in the can. It's a chocolate stout.
Oh
I
man.
love the stouts.
And so
Speaking our language here.
I'll tell you what. So that those are some of my favorite.
Sure.
And so I like a good stout.
You like the dark heavy?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And it's tough too. You go to many places because not many places. Some places don't carry that darker stuff.
Oh,
And so
yeah,
you're
it's
always
tough.
getting like dark to them is like a Hefeweizen. I'm like, come on.
That is not dark.
I like the stout. I'm kind of drawn to the stout. It's a nice smooth taste. Black Butte Porter. Actually, Metal Jesus Rocks introduced me to that.
Did he?
And
It's his
introduced
fault.
me to a lot of it. And it probably helped the video be better. But yeah, definitely was.
to talk about Neo Geo.
Yeah.
That's Tom every night.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, Deschutes Black Butte Porter is kind of my
Excellent.
standard go-to. Especially watching Eagles season this year, I'm going to need it a little bit.
Uh-oh.
So yeah,
Our Packers are playing right now.
yeah,
I heard they were winning last I checked, but
yeah. You're a Packer fan?
yeah, we're all from
Yep.
Milwaukee.
We're all from Milwaukee.
We're only
Yeah.
the Eagles are the only team to beat them this year so
That's
far.
True. They
Well,
got
they're-
Oh, a podcast over.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
Well, I know my dad's a Packers fan, and I work with a Packers fan. She has a Packers shrine,
Oh, really?
and so we are
Okay.
very polite. Now I got to tell you this. You got a second to share a
Yeah,
story?
yeah, please.
All right. So you're a Packers fan. Guess what gift I gave her after the Packers and Eagles played? I gave her a gift. I'm out of school. I gave her a yardstick. I gave her a yardstick with a Post-it note that said, Packers, it's okay to run the ball once every 4 plays when you're on the 1 yard line. So
That was rough. That was rough.
Wow.
I'm
man.
sorry.
That's
I love
cruel,
a Packers
man.
fan, but you know what she did? So she has a
Did
Packers
you
shrine.
snap it in half?
No. Well, she's a very polite fan. She put it up. She thought it was funny because she was Packers fan are just as mad as anyway. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's a
We're
new
horrible
coach.
people.
Oh,
And you
NFL
know,
fans.
and you know what?
At the 1 yard line.
Eagles fans typically are terrible. I'm a fan since '89, and
Yeah.
I watch them on TV. I'm
Cunningham
from
and all
California.
them.
Yeah, Randall
Yeah.
Cunningham.
Amazing to watch.
Fred Barnett.
Yep.
Some classics. Watching him throw bombs and watching him be Gumby and not be able to be tackled.
Yeah.
It was like watching a basketball player who had a football jersey on.
Right.
Yeah.
So, John, you have any videos upcoming?
Yes. So
That
many
we can
people,
talk about?
yeah, many people are streaming probably my Genesis collection, but I'm going to be doing the behind-the-scenes kind of story. I'm going to be showing every game on a video on Monday. I usually upload Sunday, but I'm kind of here and kind of busy, so I'm going to be doing that Monday and talking
You have
about
witnesses, yeah.
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 So yeah, I'm going to be doing that and uploading it tomorrow and talking about my Genesis collection.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And where can our followers find you? Twitter, YouTube, what would they look up?
Yeah, on Twitter it's at SW11us, and the SW is for Star Wars,
Nope.
but at Slovenist, and just look up the Immortal John Hancock on YouTube,
Absolutely.
and I have a fan page on Facebook as well.
Great. Yeah, and check out the videos. They're actually really informative and really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, John.
Yeah.
Love you too.
So many
So,
games.
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you.
Dogcast, John.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've been watching here the Dogcast. Subscribe to us at podcast services everywhere. We've been podcasting somewhat live from Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019.
Love you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, Dogcasters.